this is the longest section because Kindle books are cheap and I didn't get into fanfiction until the very end of the summer. So if you didn't see the layout of the last video, I'm just doing it like slightly different to how I usually do it for my other monthly wrap-ups. I'm doing it from my lowest rating to my highest rating, which is going to be also different in my fanfiction one, as I don't rate fanfiction because am I considering like grammar and stuff? Because if I am, you accept all the uglies. But anyway, that one, I had a 1-star book and a 5-star book, and I also had a 2 and a 3 and a 4-star. So that was why I decided to split it into 3 parts, because I was originally going to do physical books and then fanfiction. Okay, so I just paused it to put the light on, and I literally cannot remember what I was saying at all. Like, mind blank. So let's just hope that I wasn't in the middle of a phrase. So this is going from my least favorite books to my favorite. So instead of like when I read them, so if you really don't care about hearing out the books I didn't like and you want to skip to the 5-star reads, just scroll a little bit to the end. But if you want to hear me talk bad about some books, no, I didn't have any 1-star Kindle reads. I had a 2-star Kindle read, I had a 2.5 star. But you will see. Okay, now I've yapped for 3 minutes. I'm just gonna get into it. So, the lowest book that I rated on my Kindle was Flawless by Elsie Silver. So, loads of people love this book. I was not one of those people. In my like Goodreads review, Goodreads in the description by the way, I just said it was okay. It was okay. It didn't take me ages to read, but when I was about 40% through, I could not be bothered with it anymore. I wanted it done. I wanted it over. I wanted it through. Wait, I have like 2 DNFs as well, so I will talk about those after this because technically they're the lowest rated. Not included in the 8. These are 2 that I didn't finish, so I didn't count them as a book I'd read. So, Flawless, yeah, I just really didn't like it at all. I didn't like the romance, I didn't really ship the characters, and there's so many people that love it. Maybe I'm just not a small town romance gal, and if you love cowboy romances, that's fine, not really my taste. I said they weren't fleshed out enough as characters in my opinion. I think I'd like the books with some of the characters, but I didn't like the characters individually or together. I said it felt like I'm like looking at my notes because like I read this book ages ago on the 1st of August, and like it was kind of unmemorable. I feel like that's as a 2-star read, that's like the definition, unmemorable. I said I felt like I was reading about the most boring couple ever, but they were framed as the most interesting, so it felt like Elsie Silver was trying to tell you like this is the most interesting couple ever, and everyone who knew them were like, wow, interesting, and I was like, I do not care, and they're so boring, I am bored, I am so bored, but I'm not gonna yap about that. I feel like I'm definitely offending someone. Please, if you love the book, I'm like so happy for you, because I think the books shouldn't be taken too seriously. Just like a silly little book. vibe of this. So I had 2 Kindle DNFs. Both were 99p, so I didn't feel like I was throwing away all of my money. And I don't know, I might start them again at some point. One of them I feel like I will next summer, and that was Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I don't know. Monaghan, I hear it being pronounced both ways, but I just didn't really like it. I DNF'd on August 4th, and I just didn't pick it up again because I really wanted to read some other Kindle books I had on here, and I just didn't love the start of the story. I think I got like 2 chapters in, I was like, don't really like this. And the second DNF was One Day by David Nichols. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. My dad watched the next Netflix series, he said it was really good. My mum read the book ages ago and she loved it, but me, I'm not a Sally Rooney girl. I read Normal People and I really didn't like it. It took me so long and it put me in a slump, and one day I think I honestly got about 60% through. It was going nowhere. It just felt like it was like 2 people who don't really like each other interacting. The Sally Rooney vibes were high, and I know loads of people love Sally Rooney, so if she's your jam, you will probably like One Day. I don't know if that's like a controversial opinion, but wasn't for me, and I just didn't want to continue reading, and I don't think I'll pick it back up. Or maybe I will, but not as me right now in my like personality. If I have a dramatic personality shift or an event in my life which changes the whole course of my life, I could definitely pick it up again. But the way things are going, no. The next book that I read on my Kindle, if we're going from bottom to top, was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab, which is this on the book. I've literally been saying V.E. Schwab, and on Goodreads it says Victoria Schwab. Schwab doesn't. I keep saying Schwab, and I'm getting annoyed at myself now. I've never seen it. I didn't know her name was Victoria, but I gave that 2.5 simply because it took me so long. If I go look at the date, what? That's not right. I don't know. It definitely took me a good while. I feel like I was reading it my whole life. The dates on Goodreads aren't right. It says August 2nd to August 3rd, which is not when I read it. Pretty sure I read it in the last half of the holidays. It's like a historical fiction kind of thing. I loved the premise. The premise was so good. And I fairly enjoyed the modern bits of it. But the olden day bits where she's in her village, because it's basically about a girl who lives for like, she's cursed with like eternal life, and so it's bits of her in the modern day, like 2014 or something, and then her in like 400 years ago in her village. And I didn't mind the ones in the modern day, but the ones in the village made me want to die. I hated it. I wanted to give up, but I kept reading. Guys, I wish this was a DNF. I wish I could sit here and say that this was a DNF, because it provided nothing to my life and it took me so long. I did say the queer representation was good though. Not loads of books I read have like LGBT representation in them. That's not the whole premise, but this did, and I thought it did it really well. I can't remember because it was kind of unmemorable, but that's just what I put in my Goodreads review. So the next book was a 3-star book, just because it was so short. It was so I remember I really enjoyed this book and I love the author, but it was too short for me to really grab into, and that was Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. stars isn't too bad. I would recommend it because it's a really quick read and I don't regret it. I feel like there's a big gap between the 3-star Evidence to the Affair and the 2.5, The Invisible Life of Annie Guru. That 0.5 makes a huge difference because I genuinely enjoyed Evidence to the Affair and I wish I'd never read The Invisible Life of Annie Guru. But anyway, next is a 4-star book, and we're getting into the books which I would recommend. I would really recommend this, and it is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So it's about this small town where a group of women meet up, wives, to talk about books, but not really. It's a thriller, and I don't know what to give away because I know loads of people don't like spoilers. If you want to like read the full synopsis, look it up. I really recommend this. I literally love this book. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I would have because I read it after a book that destroyed me. I said at some points I was so stressed for the character. If any of you have read Sweet Freak by Sophie Mackenzie, those vibes. Everything went wrong for this character, Patricia, and there was nothing anyone could do. Yeah. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, guys. Would definitely recommend it. So we get to 4 Kindle books that blew me away. They were so good. 2 4.5s and 2 5s. So a 4.5 that I read was A Court of Wings and Ruin, the 3rd book in the ACTA A Court of Thorn and Roses trilogy. Book 1 I gave 5 stars. Book 2 I gave it 6 stars. Like, I gave it 5 stars, but it was so high. I loved it. And book 3, 4.5. I didn't give a review on my Goodreads. Like, I literally don't know what to say without giving it away. It's about a war. Well, A Court of Thorn and Roses is a really popular TikTok book. I'll just explain the synopsis. Like, a girl, Feyre, gets kills a fairy and so gets taken away by Tamlin to a fairy kingdom, and that's where everything goes down. And I thought this was so good, with just like exploring the actual war element more, because this is where like the final battle went down, everything was going on, and I probably will read, I'm pretty sure it's a 5-book series now, but the main trilogy is from Feyre's perspective, and the other 2, they're from her sister's perspective. One of them is, at least. I don't know, I haven't looked into it, but I would definitely be reading the rest of the series at some point. I don't know whether it'll be this year, because I was just like, I wanted to finish the trilogy this year, and then I didn't really care about the rest of the series. Leads me to my other 4.5, which was a book everyone was raving about this summer. Everybody loved it since, like, I don't know when it came out, but 2024. I've been hearing about this book so often, and I just wanted to read it so badly. It's a romance about, well, I'll tell you what it is. It was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and it's a romance where these 2 people have a curse where they date someone, and then when they break up with that person, the next person that person dates ends up being their soulmate. And so the guy puts a post on Reddit about his curse. The girl reaches out to him and is like, oh my god, I have the exact same curse. Yeah, and I thought it was really good. It's got like some Emily Henry-esque problems. It's not just a romance. It's not just like a flawless Elsie Silver romance with, it's just a romance. This is a good romance, and the characters reviews, but I haven't had anyone else talking about it. So this book is an Emily Henry book, and it's my first 5-star Emily Henry book, and the only thing I put in the description was, I finally get the hype around Emily Henry. And the Emily Henry books that I've read before this are Beach Read Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read Book Lovers and People We Meet on Vacation. I didn't love those. I didn't see the hype around Emily Henry, but then I read Happy Place. And that was my happy place. My first 5-star Emily Henry book. It's about Harriet and Wynne who break up, and then their friends all go on holiday together, and then they haven't told them, so they have to still act like a couple. It was so sad. I cried a lot. I was on holiday and I was trying not to cry in front of my dad. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But I was not fine because it was a sad book. But I think you should just read it. If you've read other Emily Henry books and you haven't got the hype, I recommend this one. And if you have and you love Emily Henry, I would also recommend this one. I don't know why I didn't enjoy the other Emily Henry books as much as this one, but I'm glad I enjoyed this one because it literally, when I think about it, I literally just get that warm, fuzzy feeling. It was such a good book. Happy Place stands, rise up. But yeah, the final book that I read in the summer on my Kindle, the eighth book that I finished was a 5-star book. This was a 6-star book. I finished on my birthday and I cried my little eyes out. That is A Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. So it's a friendship story about two girls, Kate and Tully. Kate and Tully are best friends, and it's just them from their childhood up to their adulthood. It was absolutely amazing. If any of you have ever read Tomorrow, similar feeling to that, I enjoyed it just as much. Tomorrow is in my top 5 favourites. This is definitely my top 10. But I can't really rank my top 10 fully because they just all, I can't put this above or below Tomorrow. Yeah. When I think about it, I actually just feel sick because it was so sad. Yeah, I don't want to give away anything, but if I just read the description, yeah, I felt like this. If you want to know the story a bit more, definitely read the synopsis. I loved this book. But I know a lot of people don't want books spoiled for them, and this description has a lot of spoilers. Which I feel like it's better to go into a book kind of blind. But with my recommendation, read this book. Okay, now that's all wrapped up. Those are my 8 Kindle summer reads from my least favourite to my favourite, with 2 DNFs. Part 3 should be coming out at some point. I have a few updates. One, is that I'm releasing stuff on at 6 p.m. instead of noon. Now, if you follow me or kind of know my uploading schedule, it was Wednesdays and Sundays at noon, but I've decided to push that forward to 6 p.m. and I actually haven't got a full update for the second point. I don't know, I'm not committing to twice a week anymore because it's my GCSE year, which, if you're not British, that's like the main exams that you do throughout secondary school. So I'm not committing to twice a week. I was already flaky anyway. Really only posted once a week, but don't be surprised if I'm only posting once a week now. I'm hungry. Did you guys just see my tummy? I could post twice a week. I feel like this is going to be the second upload because I just felt the motivation to film today and yesterday. So it's Wednesday, so the video came out today, my first summer book read. So this will probably go up on Sunday because I don't see any point in waiting till next week when it's about summer. But going forward, if you're still here, you might be interested in when I'm uploading, so don't be surprised if it's not twice a week. And I also have a Patreon, which I post twice a month on. It's £2.50 per month. And you get early uploads, you get polls, you get behind the scenes content.